What's up, what's up, what's up? This is your girl, Euda Best. Thank you so much for tuning in to Yoga with Euda. Today, I'm going to do a really common sequence known as sun salutations. 3 years ago, a little over 3 years ago, when I first started my everyday practice, I started with sun salutations just because I knew that it was considered a relatively safe and balanced practice that will hit pretty much all you ever need. So for almost every day, for something like 7 months, all I did was sun salutations, and I experienced really, really huge benefits just from that. And so that's why I'm sharing it. At the end of that 7 months, I jumped into my first Instagram yoga challenge called Back to Traditional Hatha. And at that time, I learned about the Sivananda sequence. And the way that it was explained to me is that like 4 to 10 sun salutations and the Sivananda sequence done 3 or 4 times a week is all that the body ever needs so that it never has to break down. So in the next video, I will do the Sivananda sequence, but again, I feel comfortable and I think it's important just to share sun salutations because again, this very simple practice is potent. After 2 weeks of doing sun salutations every day, folks started to notice a change in my attitude. And the reason I started the daily practice is because I was, or I still am, kind of a yes person, but I was definitely a yes person back then. And I said yes to so many different projects that without realizing it, I had committed myself to working every single day from like January 18th until like June 6th of 2017. And after 2 weeks, I was losing it, like really losing it. And so I told myself that I was going to do the sun salutations every day, that I would be late to work even before I would miss my sun salutations. And after 2 weeks, the change was noticeable. And after 6 months, like I can honestly say that I was a completely different person. So again, we're going to just do some sun salutations today. I tend to start out very slow. I think my practice is always slower than the average person. But after I feel like my body is warm, I do start to move a little bit more towards the end of the practice without a break. In the beginning of the practice, I personally, I actually say a prayer and do a visualization after each round of sun salutations up again until my last rounds. But if you're not into that, I would suggest at least taking 9 deep breaths. We'll probably do something like 3 or 4 here. But anyway, so sun salutations. We're starting somewhere near the top of our mat, facing the short edge of our mat. And we're looking for our mountain legs. That's hip joint, knee joint, and ankle joint in a straight line. You can kind of tuck your hips forward if you feel compelled to do so in order to stack the shoulders on top of the hips. But this is pretty much how I start my sun salutations, just in kind of a mountain prayer pose. Then after I feel like I've really connected with my breath and have started to bring my awareness into my body and out of the room, then I'll go ahead and get started. So gently dropping the hands down, inhaling them up overhead. And as we exhale, folding forward, starting with the straight leg, bending the knees at some point to protect the backs of the legs. Abs can be engaged, breathing into the back of the legs. Then inhaling the right leg back, dropping the right knee down. For lunge, you want the front knee stacked directly above the heel. We're getting a psoas stretch here. Breathing into that psoas. Dropping the palms down, bringing the left leg back for plank. Abs engaged, breathing deeply. Relaxing all the way down. I think in regular sun salutations, people would stop for chaturanga. I feel like chaturanga is a very advanced and not really healthy practice unless you are super strong. So I don't do it. I come all the way down to the mat and then inhale cobra. I engage my abs to help support the lower back. You can also engage your glutes. We want the shoulders relaxed away from the ears. Breathing into the lower back. Let's take one more big breath. Tucking the toes. Exhaling down dog. Now in the beginning of the practice, the legs are probably not very warm. So feel free to alternately bend the knees. We call that walking the dog. You can bend the knees all together. In down dog, I really like to focus more on just really pushing through the palms and trying to find a straight line from wrists to hips. Abs can be engaged. One more big breath. And inhale that right foot forward, dropping the left knee down for lunge. Right heel directly above, or right knee directly above right heel. Breathing into the left psoas. One more big breath. Dropping the palms down. Exhaling, forward fold. Abs can be engaged, breathing into the back of the legs. Inhaling the arms up overhead. Exhaling, prayer pose. Again, in my private practice, I actually take a break here and visualize like a four-sided place. I usually have water, mountains, trees surrounding me. When I first started, at some point during that, I actually made a visit to Turquoise Lake. And since then, I actually visualize myself at Turquoise Lake. But if you're not into visualization, you can just say, or just take a few deep breaths here. And if you're really a person who just likes to go, 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 you don't have to stop. I do think that it is a good idea to practice things like this slowly in general, but it's not gonna hurt if you just keep going with your sun salutations. Take one more big breath here, and then do the other side. Inhaling the arms up, exhaling, forward fold, bending the knees at some point to protect the backs of the legs. Abs are engaged. Breathing into the back of the legs. Inhaling the left foot back this time, dropping the left knee down. Right knee stacked above right heel. You can stay supported by the hands, or you can come up, breathing into this left psoas. Dropping the palms down, bringing the right leg back for plank. Abs are engaged. Exhaling down. Inhaling cobra. Breathing into the lower back. One more big breath. Tucking the toes. Exhaling down dog. Really pushing through the palms. Abs can be engaged. Inhaling the left foot forward. Dropping the right knee down. Lunge. These lunges really feel good to me. Dropping the palms down. Exhaling forward fold. Breathing into the back of the legs. Inhaling the arms up. Exhaling prayer pose. Praying, visualizations, or just breathing deeply. One more big breath. Dropping the palms down, inhaling them up overhead. Exhaling prayer pose. Or exhaling forward fold, breathing into the back of the legs. Now we're back on the right side, bringing the right leg back, dropping the right knee down. Staying supported or coming up, breathing into the right psoas. Dropping the palms down, bringing the left leg back for plank. Fingers are spread wide, trying to get our weight on the ball of the hand instead of the wrist. Abs are engaged, breathing deeply. Exhaling down. Inhaling cobra. Breathing into the lower back. One more big breath. Tucking the toes. Exhaling down dog. Really pushing through those palms. Abs can be engaged. Inhaling the right foot forward. Dropping the left knee down. Staying supported or coming up for lunge. Breathing into the left psoas. Dropping the palms down. Finding your forward fold. Breathing into the back of the legs. Abs can be engaged. Inhaling the arms up overhead. Exhaling prayer pose. This time I'm going to keep going. Just one big breath. And we'll get right back into it. Exhaling forward fold. Breathing into the back of the legs. And now that we're a little warm after a few repetitions, I'm actually going to show you a variation on lunge, namely high lunge. So back, foot back. This time I don't drop the knee down. You don't have to do this. You can totally stay with that. But if you'd like to kick it up a notch, you can go into high lunge instead of low. Still breathing into the psoas. Dropping the palms down. Bringing the right foot back for plank. Abs are engaged. Breathing deeply. Exhaling down to the mat. Inhaling cobra. Breathing into the lower back, maybe the heart. One more big breath. Tucking the toes. Exhaling down dog. Inhaling that left foot forward. Again, I'm going to stick with high lunge. Feel free to drop your knee if you would like. Dropping the palms down. Bringing the right leg forward for our forward fold. And now I'm going to pretty much end here. So since this is my last iteration, usually my last iteration, I actually grab my elbows and hang in my very last forward fold. Really let the back of the neck and shoulders open up, as well as the back of the legs. You can engage your abs to kind of help support the lower back. Take one more big breath here. Inhaling the arms up overhead. Exhaling prayer pose. So we essentially have just done 4 sun salutations. Again, when I started my daily practice, I was doing 6 to 9, depending on how much time I had. It's always suggested that you do at least a 7-minute savasana after your practice. So you might want to do some more sun salves, or you might want to look at some of the other videos I have up. If you're not into a silent savasana, there is a guided meditation video that I created down below that is a great way to be in savasana without silence. But yeah, so I hope this sun salutation video is helpful. Again, this simple movement that you see me doing over and over again is all I did every day for the better part of 7 months. And even though it was those very simple, not too strenuous moves, and it really, really started to shift the trajectory of my life. So I hope you enjoyed this. And the Sivananda sequence will be the next yoga video that I post. Thank you again for listening to Yoga with Euda. Peace.